It's time to peel back with Maddie Levine, presented by Fight Bananas.
We are back. Welcome in. Thank you as always for joining each and every week. It's your girl Maddie Levine back on the peel back. And of course, we're talking all things MMA. It's what we love to do. And there is a huge card coming to my neck of the woods, Boston. Super pumped about it. And it's coming very soon, August 18th to the Garden. And this is one of those cards where I'm like, all right, I think I'm willing to pay any amount of money just to get into the door. But then there's, guys that can just get on the card, which is way more fun. And we have a really special guest for you. He's going to be showing up and showing out for UFC Boston. And it is Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Maddie. Good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping to score some tickets. So if you got a hookup, let a girl know. But that's besides the point. Where are you joining me from today?
Right now I'm in sunny southern Florida. I'm moved down here to train at Kill Cliff FC, and I've been finishing up training camp, so I'll be heading out to Boston, I think next Tuesday, and hopefully the weather's similar. It's just, really hot, really sunny, and very humid. So it's been nice.
I don't want to bum you out, but it's been real rainy up in New England. So hopefully you can bring some of that Florida sunshine with you. But yeah, I definitely want to talk about your move. You were known for running things in Milwaukee for a little while, and now you're training under the amazing Henry Hooft. What surprised you, before we get into Henry, but what surprised you the most about moving to Florida?
I don't know if anything surprised me. It has been nice. I'll be completely honest. Waking up in a warmer climate consistently, like my joints feel better. Like it really does. I feel better. Like as an athlete, the temperature changes in Wisconsin were so drastic through the seasons, and like when it was cold, it would literally take like a while for me to warm up just to get the blood circulation flowing and get everything feeling good. But here it's like, even if I get sore, it's not the same. Like it doesn't take me a long time to like get loose. So that's been really nice.
Because it gets real cold where you're from. Like how cold does it actually get?
It'll consistently be 30 degrees Fahrenheit and below in the winter. Like it snows a lot, but lately it's been getting colder. In the specific area I was in, we were kind of the southeastern part of Wisconsin, but it would still get like this polar vortex would dip in, and there'd be, I don't know, maybe like a week or two where it would get to like -20, -30. It'd get pretty freaking cold.
So basically you had no need for like an ice bath because you basically
No.
lived in one. That's insane. I mean, so I live in Rhode Island. We do get that cold weather, but that is intense. I don't know if you've ever experienced a frozen boxing bag before. Those are terrible. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, to try to keep heat in the gym as much as you can, right? But,
Right.
leather and stuffing and stuff, like it can only get so warm in the gym. And,
Yeah.
when the temperature outside's that cold and in the gym it's like maybe 50 or 60 on a good day, the bags get kind of stiff and everything, it just kind of hurts. Everything
Yeah.
hurts
Well,
all the time.
I'm glad to hear that your body's doing well. I'm curious what made you shift over to Florida. I know you've spoken about how, the need for more sparring partners and that are your size, which makes sense.
Right.
But what made you land on Killcliff as like you're starting new?
So there's, like you said, there's plenty of bodies. I know a couple guys, Brendan Allen and Jared Gordon, who I trained with before, and they came down to Kill Cliff and they said I should check it out. So that definitely helped. And I knew if I was going to find the amount of training partners I needed, I was going to have to look at a bigger gym somewhere. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
they were the first one I tried, but I knew some people. They seemed very welcoming. If it's the difference between like really you'd have to either go somewhere the East Coast, there's like a lot of gym. There's guys that train at a lot of different little gyms, right? Like there's not a huge gym except for maybe like Sarah Longo MMA, but they have more little guys at least that are well known. And then wasn't really keen on moving out to California, and I knew in Florida there's like a few bigger gyms down here, but that it was a good fit right away. And the not having state income tax is always nice, so that definitely
Yeah.
didn't hurt my decision either.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. I mean, now you've trained under two incredible coaches. You were at Rofu Sports Academy forever, and now you're dealing with Henry Hooft. I mean, what would you say is the biggest difference? Because it's so interesting, and this is what I love about martial arts, is that there's so many elite people, but you can all be different in so many ways and still be at the top. So what is the biggest coaching difference, I guess I would say, between your experiences?
I would say it's like they've kind of put it out there for sure. With Henry, he likes to keep everything simple. Like he has like the KISS acronym for everything. So he is really all about like he definitely knows the finer details. You know what I'm saying? But the bulk of it is keep it simple. Make sure your hands are in the right spot. Make sure your posture's good. Move your feet a lot, and just use all your weapons. So that's been the biggest difference that I've noticed, but it works. You know what I mean? And I got to train with Duke Rufus for many, many years, and I learned probably more than most people have ever learned in their life, just details wise. Whether or not I can use them all is something else, but it's good to see the other side of like the striking coin, so to speak.
Yeah. And it's nice to hear that you left amicably. Like there was no bad blood. It was just, you needed more bodies. And I think that's a really good message for maybe other fighters that maybe feeling that pull towards maybe going to a different gym. I know a lot of, local fighters maybe struggle with that. So if you were to give advice to any fighter that's maybe looking to start over somewhere else, what advice would you give them to do it the right way?
So you know, a lot of people will be nervous in any interaction, right? Whether it's their job or anything, telling somebody that they want to go somewhere else. But the best thing you could do is just, for better or worse, be a man or woman about it. Go up to them face to face and be like, "Hey, I appreciate everything you've done for me. My time here has been great. I feel the best move for me in my career right now is to move on. If they agree with it, that's cool. If they don't agree with it, that's cool too. You can hear them out, but just be like, this is the decision I'm making. I just want you to know that on my end, I have no hard feelings and I appreciate everything you've done. And it's just time for me to go a different direction or however you want to word it. And that's
Yeah.
that's all you can do, right? If they want to be upset, they want to be upset. But like, I talked to Duke about it. Um, there was no bad blood on either side. He was like, I get it. We're in a rebuilding phase. We got a lot of little guys, but you're towards the end of your career. Not that I'm gonna, retire in the next year or something, but I only got maybe, 4 or 5 years left, hopefully more, depending on how my body holds up. But like I'm getting older and I've been fighting for a long time. So you got to make those last few years count. So, and I was transparent. We were good. And, there's no need to have it go sour. And a lot of people just leave and they're like, well, I didn't want to say anything and make anybody upset. Just talk to them. Just give
Right.
someone the benefit of the doubt. If they want to act up after the fact, that's on them. But just, the best thing you could do as an adult person for anybody is just be honest and tell them to their face.
Yeah, communication is definitely key with something like that. And I gotta know, did you bring the saxophone to Florida?
Yeah, I
You,
still have it here. I don't have it like out right now, but it came with me.
I was hoping for a little solo, but that's okay. I'll let it slide. Tell me about this because you were treating everybody to some incredible videos during lockdown. When did
Yeah.
when did this saxophone journey start?
Oh, before I ever started fighting, I all through my school career, I was going to be a music teacher. So I started taking lessons like in fourth grade. I played in all the bands and stuff. I had a small scholarship to play and like learn music at a college in Wisconsin. So that's something I'd been doing in a past life, so to speak. And yeah, I was bored and there wasn't much to do. And I was like, I bet no one's going to see this coming. So I just busted out the old saxophone.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wow, all right. Many talents, if you will. Were you surprised at how well you could still do it?
No, so I can do well enough that it looks really good to like people that aren't musicians, but
The
like I was
average
still,
viewer.
yeah, I'm still a little rusty, and it wasn't like I just pulled it out and played it right there. So I got to a pretty proficient level, but there's definitely people that are, that are way better than I am. But I'm good enough to make it sound like I know what I'm doing.
Well, you certainly provided us with some high quality entertainment, so we appreciate that. So you recently passed 50 fights. Congratulations on that. I mean, that's a
Thank
huge
you.
milestone for any fighter. You kind of touched upon it just now, but how many fights do you hope to accumulate in your career? Do you have like a certain number in your mind where I'm like, yes, I want that many fights?
I think 60 is very doable. You know what I mean? I would think I could get more than that, but like for sure the 60 benchmark, and that's with the understanding that theoretically I keep winning. And as you advance, it gets a little bit harder to get fights as frequently, right? So,
Mm.
but I still feel that getting that should be really, really easy. If I get past 60 really quick, maybe 70, but we'll see. We'll see how the body's holding up after that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you mentioned your body, and at least it's in a warmer climate, so maybe that'll be helping you out.
Yeah,
But
no, so far I've been very fortunate. I don't have any, knock on wood, no major injuries, nothing crazy. So I'm holding up pretty good so far.
knocking on all the wood for you. So I love asking this question. What would you say to the Gerald that was gearing up for, let's say, fight number 10 in his life, as opposed to the Gerald getting ready for your next fight? What would you say to him?
I probably wouldn't say too much. Maybe start strength and conditioning work a little bit sooner, but other than that, be like, hey, it ends up being worth it. So just keep at it because it took me till a lot more than 10 to get to the UFC, but I got there eventually.
It might be hard to vocalize, but what is one of the biggest rewards or lessons that MMA has taught you over the past, 50 plus fights?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, not just me, but anyone that looks at my career is a perfect example of like, it doesn't have to be, nothing has to be perfect to make it work. Like my record was never perfect. I never had, I started off losing fights. I was never undefeated. I never had a background in anything. There was no special alert to any of my skills. Like even by the time that we had a local MMA site in Wisconsin for a little bit, when they even started writing about me, it's because I was younger, but I still had a lot of fights already. So just the idea that like everyone always says, like if you work hard, you can make it happen or whatever. But most of the time, you hear people saying that it's like they grew up having the ability to do nothing but like what they wanted to do in that sport, and their parents were like collegiate athletes or anything. My parents were great people, but they weren't like big time athletes. Like maybe they did some high school sports, but it was literally just I wanted to do something. And even with all the failures, I still kept at it and got to a point where now I can support myself and my family doing something that I love.
Hmm. And that's the key to life, right? Like finding something that we're actually passionate about. So, I mean, kudos to you for maybe putting down the saxophone and going to MMA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not sure I would have made quite nearly as much money playing the saxophone. So,
I mean, you would have brought joy to people either way. So
right,
it
yeah,
was a win-win.
yeah.
But most importantly, we're on that MMA hype train. And next up, you do have a pretty big fight, Andrew Petrosky, August 18th, TD Garden. Now, there seems to be, before I get there, my cat is dying to meet you, apparently. She won't leave me alone. So this is Piper. Would you like to say hi?
Hey, what's up, Piper?
Now she's shy. She's shy, but we're
Yeah.
gonna get her out of here. Anyway, back to what we were saying. There seems to be some drama brewing just a little bit between you guys. He called you out a couple times. Tell me about this whole timeline of how this got started.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily drama. It's like I don't really know him. He doesn't really know me. He had called me out before. I accepted, but even at the time, I told him I was like, I'm down to fight you, but just so you know, I actually signed a contract to fight somebody else.
Mm,
And then we went kind of nothing negatively when we actually talked to each other, but like just offer to fight each other. One of us had something coming up, so it just never lined up. And now finally the stars aligned, and it's not like like I said, I don't really know him as a person. there's just something about him. I don't know. I don't know if it's like the way he carries himself or what it is, but I just don't really like him that much. So I kind of want to hurt him. I want to inflict pain and damage. I want to beat him up. So like, so far as, that's kind of people try to put that in their head anyway, usually for a fight, right? Like there have definitely been times where I've been in scraps and like I like the guy, but you know, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, I'm not going to feel bad at all about putting my fist to that guy's face.
You have mentioned in the past that you're not the biggest fan of trash talking, but like you also said, this guy's got a very punchable face. You're not going to be worried about punching him in the face. Do you think this is going to bring out a different side of you for this fight?
I mean, I kind of hope so. I'm planning on being as violent as humanly possible, and it's like I don't even mind trash talk. It's just got to be good. Like as long as it's funny or so like engaging in some way, I'm all for it. But yeah, I haven't really heard of much trash talk. It's just that I guess I've been vocal about like, yeah, I just don't really care for him, and I'm gonna, I want to inflict damage. I want to inflict pain. The only thing I've ever heard him say is like he thinks he's like the best grappler at middleweight or the best like whatever, which
Mhm.
is like a weird thing to want to claim anyway. Like I have the submission record. It's far and beyond anybody else in the division, and that's cool, but like I'm not even out here trying to like make that my moniker. Again, he's like I'm gonna, because his thing is like I'm gonna show that I'm the better grappler and submit him. It's like, well, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to hurt you.
This is an MMA fight, and
Yeah.
I love the attitude that you're taking with this. It's the perfect attitude for a Boston card. Have you ever fought in Boston before?
I have not. I did get to corner in Boston before, and that was a lot of fun. The crowd was great. The energy was great. So I'm super pumped to be not only in like a bigger city like that, but that's a very storied venue, a storied arena. I mean, it's like, the two gardens are like some of the biggest venues in the world, right? So I'm anticipating a great atmosphere, and he's more kind of from up there, but I don't actually know if he's going to get the same hometown love because it's not like Philly and Boston are necessarily like tight with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe, but we'll see.
but the one thing about Boston is we're very territorial, and we
Yeah.
like, I say we, and I'm on the outskirts, but it's like Boston is just such a niche vibe, and we love our sports and we love our athletes, and it's such a cool atmosphere. And I hope you get a chance to check out the city too, because the food is incredible. So hopefully you can have some time to eat after. Are you an
Yeah.
Italian fan?
Oh yeah. No, I love all different types of cuisines, but there's something like especially for me growing up in the Midwest, I was not exposed to like good Italian food. And like my
Mm,
brother, one of my younger brothers had moved out and I had visited him in like New York before and like been on the East Coast a bunch of different times. So like to go there and get to have good Italian food. Like the last time I was up, I we hit some Italian place up. I forget what even the dish I got. Some pasta dish was amazing. I had the lobster rolls while I was there, of course, and like some seafood. But that's like something surprisingly enough in Southern Florida they have a lot of too. But like growing up, it's like, I knew that Olive Garden was not like Italian cuisine, but that's like all that was around. And I was like, there's no way that this is it. And then finally getting to
no.
heaven, I'm like, oh, this is why people love it so much, because this is
Right.
actually delicious.
Right. If Olive Garden is your marker, you got a long way to go. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited for you. Definitely some, like if you can find like a hole in the wall place where it's like
Yes.
paper napkins and plastic cups, it's usually the best place. So hopefully you can find a good spot. But before that, you do have some work to get done August 18th, and it's going to be a hell of a scrap. I'm excited for you. Before I let you go, I love to peel back the headlines and what's going on in pop culture. And right now, it's what's being described as the biggest hunt in 5 decades for the Loch Ness Monster. Okay. So the Loch Ness Center, they're actually looking for volunteers this month for a mass search for the Loch Ness Monster. It's being called the biggest search ever. And I'm just like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. What other mythical creatures would you be willing to go hunting for?
Uh, I'd go on whatever just to like go hiking because I think that would be cool. I think cryptozoology is like a fun thing to like watch because it's like kind of unhinged people looking for stuff. But I'm really surprised you didn't bring up the biggest thing happening in pop culture right now,
Which
which
is
is
what?
the Montgomery Brawl. Have you not seen this?
Oh, I've
Have you
seen
not
it.
seen the Montgomery Brawl? That is the greatest thing. I have seen so many videos. That chair is going to be in a museum somewhere, and I am all for it. I saw a reenactment with white people and black people coming together to, like, as a joke, reenact the entire
Oh
thing.
yeah.
This is the most amazing thing on internet culture, and I for one have been waiting for something like this to pop off again on Twitter and Instagram for a long, long time. And I can't tell you how excited I am. If anyone hasn't looked at Montgomery Brawl, just type in Montgomery Brawl and go on Instagram or something and just look everything up. It's amazing.
I have to watch it again now because I won't lie to you. There were many times where I scrolled by it because I was like, what the hell is this shit? You know? But now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again because I keep hearing
It's
about
amazing.
this.
It's
So
amazing.
it's just there was like beef with like him docking, right? Or something, and then
Yeah, I
just
mean,
the
the
dumbest
backstory doesn't
brawl
even matter.
ensued. Yeah,
Don't
that's not what
even
it's
look.
about.
Yeah, like you could see the video once, but look at the memes as a result of the brawl itself. It's
Yes.
the after effects that's what's worth going and looking at.
I love that. I love that. That's way better than the Loch Ness monster. So
Yeah,
everyone, I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume that you're not a Taylor Swift fan, but I could be wrong. Are you a Swiftie? Are you like a
dear God,
closet
no.
Swiftie?
I don't. We were just
You
having
never
this
know.
conversation.
You never know.
Someone was talking. My wife is going to go with one of her friends to a Beyonce concert, and somebody mentioned Taylor Swift in the same breath, and I, for one, was offended, and I went on a tirade about how that's ridiculous. And anyway, I'll get off my high horse. If you like
No, I
Taylor
love it.
Swift, that's fine. I got nothing against that, but to like, I just don't understand. And you know
Were
what?
you defending Beyonce? Is that what was happening, or were you just like, I don't understand Taylor Swift? Shut up.
I was I was defending that someone would mention Beyonce and Taylor Swift in the same sentence. That
Yeah,
like
that
absolutely
doesn't
blew my mind. I was
even make
because
sense.
I am not a recording artist. Like who the hell am I to say anything right? But for better or worse, I was going to be an actual musician at one point, and just musically and everything else, I don't get it. If you like it, then that's what you get. Apparently, a lot of people do, and that's cool. But
Yeah, listen,
yeah,
I don't get it. I am one of those people where I work in music. I work in at a radio station. We play all of her songs and I just don't get it. But you know what? It is what it is. But the amount where I was going with this is the amount of money that people spend on her Eras tour is astronomical. Obviously, you know, we're not Swifties, but what artist would you be willing to pay any amount of money to see in like live? Dead or alive, I guess.
uh, I I'm gonna be completely. I don't really go to many live concerts. I
Come
don't like.
on.
I've been to a couple that were pretty cool just by circumstance, but that's just not how I generally enjoy music.
Okay.
Like, you know what
That's
I'm
fair.
saying? So like, I definitely get the appeal of it. Or what I would go to is like one time when I was younger and I had to like, work and fight at the same time. I went on like this party bus and I was helping like bartend and serve people food and stuff to a Jimmy Buffett concert. And like the parking lot, not even the concert, was like the most crazy,
Oh my
like
god. Yeah.
50-year-old lawyers and doctors had stripper poles outside of every single RV station. Like it was
It's
insane.
a
Guys
vibe.
had entire DJ booths set up. Like that kind of thing. It was like a festival. That was fun. That would to me be more fun than like standing for 3 hours and listening to like different songs. Like that would be cool. So or like Summerfest was a big thing in Milwaukee. You can walk around, you can hear different things. That was a fun time. But I don't know that I would like sit down and have to go to one. And I'm a really big like old school blues fan. And when I was like a
Nice.
teenager, I happened to get to see BB King perform live under
Oh
the St. Louis
wow.
Arch. And after that, it's like I'm good.
Right. It's
I
like
don't really need to see much
nothing's gonna
else.
compare at this point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what there's that big festival. I Is it Blues Fest? There's one where it's like blues, folk, jazz. maybe it's a jazz festival. I'll have to look into it, but that might be a good one. Obviously, BB
That'd be a
King
good
won't
one.
be in attendance, but
Right.
it is a good one. But all right, well, I'm glad we got to some of the headlines, but now you got me thinking about this Montgomery brawl, so I'm gonna have to go watch that again.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, very much looking forward to your return to the octagon. Before we let you go, how are you feeling? And what would you like to say to your supporters over the years?
Yeah, I feel great. Anybody that likes watching my fights, I really appreciate it. It always blows my mind that people outside of my family and my training partners actually know who I am. So that's always appreciated. If you ever want, an autograph or a picture or anything, please don't hesitate to ask.
Such a humble man. I gotta love it. Well, best of luck, and Fight Bananas will be watching. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.